And PPT is moving, madam?
Yes, sir. Now it is moving.
Okay. Okay. So, good afternoon to all. Today is the last class in this series. And everybody should know about the insolvency professional is not purely a legal profession. He is not a legal profession. 50% legal, 50% managerial. If at all you ask,
IPA के फीस के इनसे कंफर्म कराओ.
hello, 50%, if you ask me, definitely it is 60% management and 40% is the legal. The legal part is very less, only court as well as a judicial pronouncement as well as rules or regulation. That's all. Nothing else. It is not a tough task. But management skills are very much required. Because for this particular company, who is facing the CIRP, the problem is the company should be continued as a going concern. Value maximization. And you have to settle whatever the financial or operational dues are there, either through resolution plan or through liquidation. So that's why everybody should know about how to manage the company. To manage the company is not a easy task. Managerial skills are required. Leadership quality is required. Strategic thinking is required. And not only that one, the financial management is also, you should have command on that particular. Once you are the head of the company, as a CEO of the company, your board of directors are nothing but the committee of creditors. Whenever any approvals are required, you have to get that approval from the board of directors. That is none other than committee of creditors for you. And you should know the production process. You should know the activities of the production department. You should have the knowledge of the marketing. You should have the knowledge of human resources management of the company. You should have the knowledge of the financial management to understand the finance department. You should have the knowledge of the marketing skills because the products are to be sold. Whether it is a manufacturing or service, the common, particularly the functions are common. So that's why you should have the good knowledge, the managerial skills. So that's why the management is very, very important. Understanding the key functions of the manufacturing, because you come across particularly real estate companies or power sector or textile or sugar industry or chemical industry, whatnot, different types. Some of them are export oriented. And service organization like hotels, like hospitals, they are also facing the liquidity problem, and the financial creditors are also filing the case with the NCLT, either a financial creditor or operational creditor. So you should have the knowledge of the service organizations. And You are acting as a IRP or RP. But today, what I will discuss is all functions, whether it is a finance function, what are the areas? Whether it is a marketing function, what are the areas? If at all it is a human resource function, what are the areas to be looked into? If at all it is a production department, what are the areas to be looked into? Up to passing the examination, up to starting the particular public, after public announcement and verification, all these things are operational issues only. And the management skills are very much required. You have to manage the total organization people. And that's why you should have the management skills. Particularly the management. Management is a process of planning, organization, the resources. Company, whether it is a manufacturing or service, it is people only, the staff. That's why managing men is an art as well as science. Some of the people, they are managing the company in a right manner. Activities of the business. If at all it is a power sector, what is the process? If at all real estate sector, what is the process? If at all it is a pharma industry, what is the process? Achieve the specific goals. You have to achieve the goals of the organization. The goals of the organization is nothing but profit, because all are commercial organization. Because investors are invested in the company, they are aiming for profit. Once you are providing that profit, then they are happiest person. That's why the preamble of IBC also clearly tells maximization. So optimization or maximization of the particular value addition. So most effective and efficient manner. You have to run the company in an efficient. Today, whenever my friends are there, I am observing, they are not up to the mark. They don't have the managerial skills. They don't have the managerial skills. And simply, they are handling that particular this one. How they are handling the particular the CIRP, God knows. Simply, they are giving public announcement, they are verifying the claims, and simply they are coming or not. Sometimes they are visiting to the companies, most of the time they are not visiting. In that case, is it a resolution, call as a resolution professional as per the code? No. Efficient management in completion of task. If at all production is there, how the production is happening? What is the raw material? What is the final product? What is the vendors? Who are the customers? And what is the process of that particular? Suppose in pharma, if at all injections are there, or tablets are there, or tonics are there, how they are manufacturing? And whether it is a domestic or international? And where the raw material is available? How many vendors are supplying the raw material? Everybody, everything you should have the knowledge. That's why in developed countries, this profession is a well recognized profession. Well recognized. And people are also giving a lot of respect to the resolution professionals. But in India, it is not reached that position. Minimal cost. Suppose if at all I asked you to run the company with a heavy cost and finally no surplus loss, is it a management? It is not a management. Effective in management relates to completion of task. Whatever the task that is given, the CIRP means you have to handle the company boss. Handling the company means not simply giving the public announcement, not simply the collecting the claims, and not giving the appointment of that is a simple task. Anybody can do that one. That for that professional is not required. You have to manage the company. Completion of task with the specific timelines and yield tangible results. That is called management. Manage the things effectively and efficiently with the available resources. That is called management. So some of the people, I have given boss, I have given public announcement, I have collected that one, I have collated the claims, I have submitted NCLT. Is it a great job? It is not a great job. The job lies with the going concern. The job lies is maximization of the assets. Particularly once you are taken over the company, that is an opportunity also. That is opportunity also. One day chief manager, one picture is also there. One day chief manager in Tamil and converted in Telugu also. So that opportunity came within one day. He did some miracles. Miracles. The opportunity came. How to reshape the country, the state. Like that, the opportunity came to you through IRP or RP to handle the company. That is a great thing. Now you are called as a managing director of the company. You are the CEO of the company as per E Form INC 28. INC 28 we are filing. What is that INC 28? You are the CEO. Because you are intimating the ROC. Register needs to be informed about the order of the court or tribunal, any competent authority for which the company or the liquidator to file a form of INC 28 with ROC, informing about the order which takes the form of approval of extension of time or condemnation of non-compliance. Whatever the earlier works are pending, then I will do, sir. You leave it of a gatan gataha. And I am handling the company. I am handling the company. I will show my results. So that's why the INC 28 you are submitting to the, it is not a ritual. The inner meaning is there. Once the INC 28 is form is approved by ROC, only the IP, that is insolvency professional, either he may be the IRP or RP or liquidator, shall therefore be allowed to file any form on behalf of the company. Earlier, the managing director of the company, they are doing. Once INC 28 you are filed, you are the managing director. For all subsequent filings, IP shall disclose the designation chief executive officer. You are the CEO of the company. But the people, particularly my observation, some of my friends, they are not treating that as a prestige post. CEO of the company. Come to the office, 10 o'clock. What is the production? What is the liquidity problem? What is the marketing issue? What is the human resources problem? What is the finance problem? And all these things are to be monitored by you. That is the role of the insolvency profession. Simply advertisement is not a great thing. Once the claims are received, verification is not a great thing. Appointment of the valuers is not a great thing. And verification of puff of claims and request the particular NCLT or COC to conduct the forensic audit, it is not a great thing. Preparation of information is memorandum is not a great thing. Receiving the resolution plans and evaluation matrix enclosed, that is not a great thing. That great thing lies with managing the company, because you are the CEO of the company as per Ministry of Corporate Affairs General Circular number 4 and 8 of 2020. And this is a circular that is a 4/2020. They have issued to the all the directors a register of companies, stakeholders, filing the forms in the registry MCA 21 by the insolvency professional or interim or resolution or appointed as an IBC 2016. They have given designation. Leave it of the designation. You are controlling all the departments. COC is only the board of directors. Board of directors, they will not control the company. They are controlling the company is a managing director or chief executive officer, and they are giving the powers to whether it is a financial powers or others. This is a circular 8/2020. And the Government of India, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. These two circulars they have issued. And you have to sign all the forms. Even balance sheet also you have to sign. Not by the earlier director, not by the earlier managing director. You have to sign. 10 commandments in management of CIRP. Everybody should have the knowledge of 10 commandments. What are the 10 commandments? You should have the entrepreneurship. Businessman. You are the businessman. That's why in most of the cases I told you should act as a businessman while evaluating the resolution plan or evaluation of the evaluation matrix. All these things you act like a businessman. Entrepreneurship, business process management. So whatever the different department of production, you have to visit to the production department. What is happening in the production? And if at all you are defining that one, you are having that much of quality or skills. You are the decision maker. Choosing the best among alternatives are called a decision maker. Choosing the best among alternatives are called a decision maker. So in the company, day and day out, you have to take so many decisions. Sir, HR manager came, sir, I want to take 20 manpower. Whether it is required or not, that is to be judged by you. If at all it is not required, decline the proposal. If at all required, where you are putting all this manpower, why? What is the existing manpower? Why the existing manpower is not there? Whether they have resigned or left the company. Behavioral finance. How much finance is required by the company? Whether adequate finance or excess finance, and how to get this finance, all these things. And the technology, you have to adapt the technology in CAR and the liquidation also. Today, technology reduces the cost. Today, the technology controls the transaction. Volumes you can attack. You can attack the volumes also. And you should have the leadership quality. You should have the leadership quality. Okay, once I'm the leader, I have to command, I have to get the things from the manpower, whoever is there. You have to communicate to the HR department or production department or marketing department or finance department. You have to communicate. Because you are the CEO of the company, chief executive officer of the company. Negotiation skills are required. Whenever the raw material is going to purchase, you have to use the negotiation skills. How much per kg raw material? Why not give the lowest amount? And here, the particularly the negotiation skills. This negotiation skills, not only with the vendors, but also the financial institution. How much rate of interest they are going to give? Whether that rate of interest matching with my rate of return on investment or not, ROI or IRR, internal rate of return. And you have to negotiate with the workers, with the workers or employees or all the particularly who are involved directly or indirectly with the company personality. So you should act as a CEO, means the status. So you have to give the directions, command. Once a CEO is earlier CEO is coming and visiting to different departments, the same respect you should get it. Managing the people. And whatever the conflicts are there, that also you have to resolve. That is your role. Okay, 30% or 20% law related subject is there. IBC means it is not purely law. If at all you are managing the company, is it a law? It is a management skills. It is a management skill. Now I will discuss in detail about each and every function. Under IBC, once the CIRP commences, the power of board of directors are suspended, vested with the RRP. You are the head of the company, not the earlier director. They don't have the financial power. They don't have the delegation of power. So they don't want. They should not enter into the company. In practical terms, IRP or RP is a chief executive officer or equivalent, the custodian of the corporate data. He is the custodian of the corporate data, undoubtedly. No doubt at all. He is the custodian of the corporate data. You are the trustee. The board is there. The board is nothing but is committee of creditors. The board is nothing but a committee of creditors. So that's why the CEO. Therefore, RP is not merely a legal or procedural profession. Some other people, they are thinking they are reading the law. Correct? You read the law, no doubt at all. Law is also there. You have to implement the IBC code, whatever the regulations are there, implement that one. You are not a legal officer. You are the chief executive officer of the company. The chief executive officer is appointed by the National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT. You are the chief executive officer. You are not purely a law officer. He must understand the operationals of the company. He should understand the financial aspects of the company. He should should have the knowledge of commercial, particularly commercial contracts and other things. He should have the knowledge of technical skills. He should have the knowledge of human resource management. You should have the knowledge of compliances. You should not have the knowledge of strategic aspects of the business to preserve it as a going concern. That is the ultimate motive. That is the ultimate motive. Preserve it as a going concern. Going concern means 60% of your skills should be the managerial skills or management skills or leadership skills of a commercial organization, how to run the commercial and maximize of the stakeholders. Ultimately, through your management, the value of the stakeholders should be increased. The value of the stakeholders should be increased. Are you getting my point, sir? What I am telling? Sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to, sir, the role of IRP or RP as a CEO, Chief Executive Officer. So whenever we are handling that particular assignment, you tell, you don't, even though you are IRP, RP, now for 180 days, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the company with legal blending, because I have to implement the IBC and I have to have to run the company. The IRP or RP is expected to. Why the designation came means you have to preserve and protect the value of the assets. You are the custodian. And continue the operation as a going concern. You have to run the company. Sir, I don't know, sir, how to run the company of a pharma. I don't know, sir, about how to run the real estate. I don't know, sir, how to run the power sector. Means not suitable. Continue the operation. Because you are a matured person, that too professional skills, 10 years people, CA or CMA or CS or law, and 15 years from a different organization in managerial capacity. That's why the qualification also designed like that. Maintain confidence of the people. No, this SAR has come. Definitely some turnaround will happen in the company. That much confidence you have to build up. And the suppliers also, this SAR came, okay, whatever the earlier dues are there, some benefit will arise. And the customers also, once this SAR has come, definitely some good quality of the goods, we will get it with a reasonable price. This SAR has come, that is simply that renders the financial institutions, regulators, and investors. You have to give the confidence. I'm there. Whatever the best is there, I will do it. I'm not telling about the miracles I'm doing. No. The best part I will discharge through my duties. Monitor the cash flow of the working capital. For smooth sailing of the company, day-to-day working capital is required. The raw materials, the labor wages, or overheads. If at all that is there, the production will move. If at all raw material is not there, staff will sit idle. And if at all electricity bill is not paid, electricity will disconnect. For essentials, they will pay, give the connection during CIRP also. Not for production. Even for essentials, electricity or water, they will give. Not for production purpose. Not for production purpose. So, the particularly facility, you have to monitor the cash flow, ensure legal and regulatory compliance. So, every company, whatever the legal issues are there, that is to be handled, and the regulatory compliance are also to be handled. And facilitate preparation and implementation of resolution plan. So, you have to implement the resolution plans. And support a committee of creditors in commercial decision making. You have to provide the support to the committee of creditors. Thus, understanding all organization functions are essential. Actually, this is nowhere available. Even in the regulation, they don't tell what is the role of a CEO. Whether it is a rule or code, they don't. But they told value maximization. They told satisfy all the stakeholders. They told that should be a going concern concept. This is all our implied meanings. Implied. Why functional understanding is a critical for IRP? Why the functional understanding is a critical? Is it required? Yes, it is required. Once you are handling the company and managing the company as a CEO, you should understand the functions. What are the functions? How many staff members are there? How many departments are there? Who is the department head? What is their role? Whether the even today, what is happening? If at all that departments are not properly working and not no work, no pay, that is one of the judicial pronouncement in the NCLAT Calcutta, I think. Without understanding the business function, RP may fail. If at all you are not understanding what is the production means, then it is a problem. At the time of reading the LIA examination, they told that only IBC code 256 sections regulations and judicial pronouncement, how to prepare the information memoranda, what is meant by evaluation matrix. Once the prospective resolution applicants are submitted, the PRAs, how to evaluate through evaluation matrix. This only, or what are the forms to be submitted to IBBA or forms submitted to NCLT. That I know, sir. Remaining, I don't know, sir, means not suitable. If at all you are not understanding, RP may fail to identify the operational bottlenecks. If at all suddenly the production manager came, sir, raw material is exhausted. Only 2 days raw material is there. Third day, if at all raw material is not available, then production will stop, staff will sit idle. Then you have to rise to the occasion. One example I am quoting here. One of my friend, he is also retired AGM from State Bank of India. NFCL, Nagarjuna Chemical Fertilizers Limited, Kakinada. They are having 2 plants there. The urea manufacturing. For urea manufacturing, GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited, they are providing the gas. And daily they are supplying the gas to the tune of 3 crores. One of the input for the process of the fertilizers. Then he reported as an IRP. At Hyderabad, Punjab, Nagarjuna Circle is their reached office. Immediately, the production manager enter into his cabin. Sir, another the GAIL, Gas Authority of India, they are going to stop the gas supply of the gas. Because now we are in a CIRP, they don't want to supply. They reduce nearly 300 and odd amount is there. Unless until payment of 300 crores, they don't want to supply. If at all you are in that particular seat, what you will do? Immediately that man telephone to Director Finance GAIL. Sir, the unit is under CIRP. If at all you stop the gas, then the unit will stop. And hundreds of manpower, particularly labor, they are also sit idle. Okay, daily 3 crores. I will ask the financial creditor to open the escrow account. Whatever my fertilizer sales are there, that will be created. And first preference on day-to-day basis, whatever the 3 crores is there, first I will pay to you. Then remaining amount I will use for running the business, overheads or salaries, etc. etc. Director of finance, no, no, no. But after a lot of discussion, finally the director of finance agreed. But to open the account and the sale process have to be created to the escrow account. And from the escrow account, daily 3 crores, that is the decision of the COC, not the particular resolution profession. Immediately, what he did is, immediately he telephoned to IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India. They are the consortium leader for this law. Immediately talked the matter with the GM corporate loans. So this is the situation. If at all a company stopped, to restore the company, particularly in the fertilizer, 15 days will take and crores of rupees again we have to invest to run the company. Then what you require? Sir, urgently one COC meeting is required. Because your stake is more, definitely your approval is also required. And what I will do is that escrow account to be opened. For that, your permission is required. Whatever the daily sales process are there, it will be created to this one. And out of the sale process, 3 crores per day, the GAIL Gas Authority of India Limited, that is then that amount I have to pay from that escrow account. Remaining, we will utilize for other purpose. Then immediately through Zoom, they have conducted that particular COC meeting. Only one thing the IRP told, sorry, if at all you have not done, I am also sitting idle. Staff is also sitting idle. And the to restore the company from the stoppage to again starting, then this much crores of amount. They mentioned amount also. This much a course of amount I have to invest. Then once the company is stopped, the objective of the preamble of IBC is going concern will not happen. And I will put all these things brought to the notice of adjudicating authority. There is no other way. If at all COC is not approved, immediately COC approved. The GAIL also, every day, whatever the gas supplied, on the next day, through escrow account, they paid. If at all you are in that position, this is a solution. This is a solution. So that's why these are areas are very, very important. Next one is operational bottlenecks. Prevent erosion of enterprise value. If at all you are not at the continue as a going concern, enterprise value will decrease over a period of time. No maintenance in the plant, no lubrication, no oil, etc. All are turned into rusting, and the value of the particular plant and machinery, once it is not used, then the value will decrease. That is prevent of erosion of the enterprise value. And once this is, you are not active in the day-to-day affairs, definitely frauds will arise. Some other people, they diverted the funds also, diversion of funds will happen. Once the company is under doldrums or the CIRP, everybody will encash, try to encash. Some of the employees, anyhow, I'm not getting, and I will take away this asset. Control cash loss. Cash losses. So it is where the cash losses will increase, costs will increase, revenue will decrease. Nobody is there to supervise the production department access viability of the business. The viability of the business will fall down, and evaluate the resolution plan properly. Once you are involved in that particular process, then only you know what is how much value the company is, how to evaluate the particular proposal, the resolution plans, handle labor unrest. Once you are not involved, labor will start dharna, strike, when the company is going to open, when the company is going to pay the amount, and retention of the customer or suppliers. Once you are stop the operation, and you are not involved in day-to-day decision making, the customer will, oh, this company, they need, oh, the company is in CIRP, they will switch over to other companies. And the suppliers also already supplied, that is still pending, no further supply, they will supply to other companies. Then raw material problem is there. Then once the finished goods are manufactured, then it will be a problem. That's why your involvement is very much. Ensure production continuity. Once you are not taken the company and your involvement is not there, production continuity will not happen. So that's why to overcome all these things, you have to involve. You should act like a CEO. You should have the knowledge of all functions of the organization. That is a finance function, production function, marketing function, and HR function also. An RP must therefore function as you are the administrator. You are the strategic thinker. You are the crisis manager in the company. If at all crisis, today the company is in crisis. You are the crisis manager. Even though you are calling as a CEO of the company, in addition to that, you are the administrator, you are the strategic thinker. Strategies are to be developed. You are the crisis manager. The company is in crisis. No production or less production. Raw material problem. And the staff productivity is less. And one side, the financial criteria interest is increasing. And not only that one, you are compliance officer also. You are the financial control. Today, how much raw material funds are required? During this month, how much funds are required for raw material? How much funds are required for payment of salaries? How much funds are required for overheads? All should be to be analyzed by you only, not by others. You are the negotiator. Negotiation with the staff. Okay, staff, sorry, if a salary is not given, we don't work. No, Bhaiya. First, that whatever before CIRP, whatever 24 months or 12 months is there, that is, I will pay through the RPA, the resolution plan. So every month I will, whenever you are working, from today onwards, I will pay by end of this month as usual. For that, I require productivity also. Operational head, production department to be run by you only, not by others. You are the stakeholder manager. The stakeholders, the customers, the staff, the equity, the financiers, all are the stakeholders. So you are called as a stakeholder manager also. So the RP must therefore function as, in addition to CEO of the company, you are the administrator, you are the strategist, and you are the crisis manager, you are the financial control, you are the compliance officer, you are the negotiator, and you are the operational head and stakeholder. Now, Are you getting my point, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will discuss about function wise. First, we will discuss the production function. The production function, another name is called operations function. In
But
service,
may just for your these are basically ideal situations we are talking about. But many a
correct.
time, many a time, what you have been when you get appointed as a ERP, what you've been given is a dump yard.
Ah,
There is nothing won't be available
correct,
most of.
correct, correct. Sir, Joseph sir,
You not get an
what if,
opportunity to
what if,
perform.
whatever the best, sir.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
they may dump something and whatever the best, whatever the best. So, suppose you take for example, no production. If at all you talk with all the function head, one meeting, is it possible to run the company? If it is possible, how much funds are required? What is the source of funds? Once I manufacture, whether suppliers are interested to give the raw material, whether the customers are ready to purchase. Sir, here, some of the people, particularly the professionals, they are doing miracles. And involvement is required. One company, particularly in Hyderabad, Bala Nagar, that is a going concern. And that is exports also. But the production is continuing. The electricity, all are there. But the RP is not coming to the company once in a 15 days or 10 days. Is it correct? Once the company is going concern and the company workers are doing and management is a pakka and daily has to come and he has to ask in the production as well as finance as well as the particular marketing and other functions. Once I'm sitting in my house, how the company will run? So why every 15 days? Why not a daily? Is there any regulations that you should have the every 15 days only you have to go, not a daily? Once the company should continue as a going concern, your presence is required daily. For that purpose, according to that, you can demand also COC. Sir, my remuneration should be like this. 30 days I am here only. Morning at 10 to 5 or 10 to 8, I am here only. Even Sundays also I am coming. That's why the production is increasing. That's why the revenue increasing. In that case, what is the problem in paying? Okay, if at all you are not interested to pay extra, I'm also ready to leave. And brought to the notice. Even NCLT also, they don't object. Even some of the LCLT, if at all their fees are not paid, they are telling the way out also. But okay, dumping, whatever the at least within that scenario also, we can do something. We can do something. Value maximization is not through this one. Quickly complete. And proactively the resolution, the applicants you finalize. Then anyhow, the new company directors, they will take care of the company. Some companies, no production, nothing. Nobody is also there. Only security is available. In that scenario also, whatever the best is there, that is to be extended. So now I will discuss about the production or operations. The production is the heart of the manufacturing organization. In service organization, operations management. In service, we are talking as a operations, and in manufacturing, it is in other organization, manufacturing organization. Production department is called manufacturing organization. Perform the equivalent role. If a production stops, revenue stop. Customers shift away. Workers become idle. Assets value will deteriorate. Sir, if at all the assets are, the maintenance is not there, over a period of time, the value will decrease like it. Assets will deteriorate. Enterprise value declines rapidly. Enterprise they deteriorate and it declines rapidly. Once I have not continued the operation, even one thing, a simple example, if at all the house is not used properly, and you are on vacation or this one, once you left the house after 1 month, what will happen? Dust, guest, all these things will problem. In the similar manner, company also. So the wheel of the company is, the production department is nothing but wheels. The wheels of the company should be rotated. Take for example, industries. If wheels are not moving, then company will become the useless company. One example I am quoting here: chemical industries, petrochemical. The pipelines are there. The crude oil converted into aviation oil and petrol and the particularly diesel or petrol, the petrol or kerosene or wax, like that, the byproducts are there. Okay. If at all the petrochemical industries are stopped one day also, the pipeline, all the crude oil is flowing in the pipeline, it will be dried and the total pipeline to be modified, to be changed. Whatever the erection cost is, that is. So even sometimes, even army people also, they will use to run the company, particularly the Hindustan Petroleums or Bharata Petroleums, like that. So some of the companies, continuous usage enhances the value. If at all it is not used, dust, guest, and whatever the value is there, that will lost. Key areas to be understood in the production department. What are the key areas? The key areas are, RP should understand the raw material procurement. What type of raw material, to whom I have to provide, what is the price, how many suppliers are there, why we are going for one person, is there any related party? The daily one person, important 5 functions will complete in 5 days. Then you will acquire the knowledge. Sir, the claims verification, public announcement, appointment of valuers, all are a stereotype activities. For that, good the experts are not required. Experts are not required. Are you agree with me, or sir? Are you agree with me or not? Hello? Hello? Are you agree with me or not? Okay. Now, the raw material procurement, the production stages, how many stages are there? How the raw material converted into production, and mission utilization. Whether the mission utilization is 100% or 80% or 60%. Next, a quality control process, and how the goods are dispatched. and the production cycle time also. So all these things you should understand. How the raw material, what type of raw material, how many types of raw material that is required, how many production stages are there, mission utilization, quality control process, all these things you should know. Dispatch mechanism, production cycle time, and the particularly the utilization, whether the company is running in a optimum utilization or lower utilization. Examples. If you take the cement industry, limestone extraction is there, clinker production is there, grinding process is there, packing and dispatch is there. If you see the right side, textile industry. In the textile industry, spinning is there, weaving department is there, dyeing is there, finishing is also there. What is spinning? What is weaving? How the dyeing is happening? How the final product is like that in simple cement industry also. You should be aware of all the department, all the sub process of the company. Suppose luckily you got one company where the going concern. In that case, you should know all these things. Capacity utilization. The capacity utilization of the company. And what is the installed capacity? What is the maximum capacity of the particular? How much we are using? What is the idle capacity? Why we are not achieving or using that idle capacity bottlenecks? All these things are to be verified. So the capacity utilization also. The key questions are, why the capacity is underutilized? You should ask, why the capacity is underutilized? Whether due to lack of working capital, or lack of power shortage, or any labor issues are there, or machinery breakdown is there, or market slowdown, people are not purchasing our product. All these things you should understand. The capacity utilization. And the next one is, we should go to the plant and machinery. What is the plant and machinery status? What is the condition of the plant? Whether it is a workable condition or not. You have to judge. You have to raise a query to the particular plant person. The production head, please come, sir. What is the condition of the machinery? If at all he told, sir, good condition, sir. If at all raw material is there, we can run. What is the actual capacity? What is the present production capacity? How much raw material is required? Why you are not achieving 100% production capacity? Is a product problem is there in the market? All these things. And the maintenance of records. The capacity utilization, the records are also available with the production manager. That also you have to get it. And the breakdown history. How many times during a particular month, how many times the unit is breakdown? Once a breakdown of the machinery, what action you are taking? You should ask the production manager. You should ask the production manager, why, if the breakdown is there, what action you are taking? And all mistakes are properly insured or not. Particularly all production department machinery or equipment or the production department the buildings are to be insured with full value, not a partial value. Once you have insured for a partial value, the average clause come into the picture. So the insurance coverage, whether it is there or not, you have to raise the questions to the production manager. And AMC contracts, annual maintenance contracts. For all the machinery, how many AMC contracts are there? Whether they are in force, whether they are continuing or not. So if AMC contracts are there, so the production manager, whether he is renewing the AMC contracts or not, if at all the machines are not working, the AMC contracts are not to be renewed. Anyhow, that is a scrap. There is no use once you are doing. Spare parts available. The spare parts, how many spare parts are there? Whether it is adequate to run the company or not. If the spare parts are not there, and how to procure, where it is available, how much it cost, and whether funds are provided by the finance department or not. That is also to be verified. Next, poor maintenance may indicate. So you have to visit in the production department, whether the maintenance is good or not. If at all poor maintenance in the production department is there, then it will be a problem. What is the problem? Financial stress. Once the poor maintenance is there, thereafter the breakdown will increase. Once the breakdown will increase, additional funds are to be deployed. And mismanagement. Once the breakdown is there, they will tell this much amount, that much amount for repair and all these things. Asset stripping. Some of the people, they will take away. Once the maintenance is poor and the asset is not in working condition, asset stripping. They will close, this machinery is not working. That's why they will take away by the unscrupulous persons without a knowledge of the production department, or sometimes with the knowledge of the production manager also. Inventory management. Critical for CIRP, the inventory is very much one of the important. It is a lifeline. Once the inventory is not there, how the production manager will run the production department? So once inventory is there, the production staff can be utilized properly. So that's why the raw materials are continuous supply is required if at all the company is in going concern. And work in progress. The work in progress is also one of the important area. If the company is the work in progress, that is semi-finished goods. What is the time limit for raw material to finished goods? If at all most of the stocks are blocked in work in progress, then it will be a problem. And the finished goods. The company, once the finished goods are there, too much time it should not be parked in stores. Early the better. Otherwise, it is like a dead stock. So once the goods are manufactured, it should be reached to the market. And a slow-moving inventory. Once the inventory is slow-moving, and the slow-moving inventory should not arise. And that slow-moving inventory, why the slow-moving inventory? If it has some, the inventory is not required, don't purchase. And obsolete stock. This stock, over a period of time, the value will deteriorate. So the obsolete stock is also to be removed from the inventory. Sell that one. Those who require, they will use that stock, they will pay some amount. Otherwise, unnecessarily, it occupies the stores. and sometimes it may not be useful, and it is waste stock, means the particularly throughout that one also, it is a cost to the company. Risks are there. So in inventory, certain risks are there. Pilferage. If at all stores ledger is not properly handled, then pilferage will happen. Some of the people, the people, they are pilferage. Some of the people, they take away the raw material without knowledge of the management. Or sometimes the storekeeper is also involved. The pilferage and the diversion. And they divert this to main company, to subsidiary company, subsidiary to associate, like that. Inventory inflation. Inventory inflation. So the inventory should also certain requirement. That's why in inventory also one formula is there, that is called EOQ, economic order quantity, and the stock deterioration. Once the stocks are deteriorated, then it is a problem also. And once the stocks are deteriorated, production will stop. Once the production is stopped, then it will be a problem. And supply chain continuity. The raw material should be continued. So once the raw material is continued to the production, the products will be manufactured and the products will go to the market, and sale process will come again, raw material to be purchased, like that. If the supply chain raw material is not reached to the production, then the total supply chain will problem. So once the vendor amount is not paid by the company, the vendor confidence will decrease. Some of the vendors, if at all the company is paying on time, definitely the vendor confidence will increase. Logistics arrangement, the transport. The transport is also one of the important area. That is also to be verified. Not only that one, the utilities supply also. Along with the raw material, some utilities are also required. Other than raw material, some spare parts and other things are required, or small things are required to complete that process. That utility, suppose utilities supply means even electricity or water is also utility services. If the utility services are not supplied properly, even though raw material is there, then the production will halt. So that's why the utility supplies are also required. If supplies are stopped and production halts and value erosion begins. So if a supply of raw material or a supply of utilities are stopped, production will halt, value erosion starts. Quality control. You have to verify the quality control laws. What is the quality control in production? In the production, what is the quality control in the production? The quality control means particularly production standards. You have to verify what is the standard, whether the standards are adhered by the production department or not. If at all production quality control is there, then the problems of the customer will not arise. That also you should have the knowledge. Some knowledge, I am not asking you, you should masterize the quality control, you should masterize the inventory control, you should masterize the utility services, etc. Some basic knowledge in each and every area, that is required. That is required. Regulatory certifications and customer specifications about the product. Even regulatory certifications also. FSI is there, particularly some food related products. That regulations are also to be fulfilled. And a customer specification. No, I require this type of a product. Even though you are manufacturing big product, but I'm using small quantities, so that you prepare a small quantities, then automatically the market will enhance like that. So whatever specification, particularly some customers, they will tell the design is not up to the mark. You design. If you increase this functionality, then I'm very happy like that. And the warranty obligations. The warranty obligations are also to be fulfilled. So the warranty obligation, what are the warranty given, whether they are fulfilling the warranty or not, and the loss of quality of damages. Once the quality damages are happening, you should be in a position to replace. You should be in a position to replace the good if a quality is not up to the mark. And brand value. The brand value, you have to retain the brand value. It should not be deteriorated. If at all deteriorated, some other people, they are not interested to buy the product. And the customer trust is also very important. Once the customer is a trust on the product, then the sales will increase. Otherwise, sales will not increase. And resolution value. So, in the quality control of the product, all these parameters are to be taken. So, you should understand what is the quality control department role in the company and how the quality is verified by them. Any wrong quality products are released to the market. What are the particular the claims or complaints? How the quality control department is resolved? Understanding the particular the finance function. The next function is the finance function. The next function is the finance function. So the finance function is the most critical function during CAR. Because of liquidity becomes severely constrained. Because here the finance function is a critical one. Why? The company, the CARP started because of a lack of the finance or liquidity problem. Had the corporate debtor paid the amount to all the financial creditor and operational creditor, CARP will not arise. So the finance is the most critical function during CAR because of liquidity becomes severely constrained. What are the key functional areas for ARP? Key functional areas for ARP with regard to financial. Key financial areas for ARP, financial related. First one is cash flow. The cash flow is RP must prepare daily cash flow statement. How much revenue we are getting daily? How much cost is incurred by the company daily? You have to prepare. You have to prepare daily. Otherwise, if at all cash inflow is less, outflow is more, then it is very difficult to manage the company. Weekly liquidity cash flows. And not only daily payment schedules. And which is the first I have to pay? The raw material. Before raw material, what is this one? Labor also, or wages also. Wages, the employees, the salaries are must. Otherwise, the company will not run. After that, raw material. After that, the financial creditor who are given the interim finance like that. So RP must they prepare daily cash flow statement, weekly liquidity forecast, and priority payment schedules. And what are the priority? First one is a focus on CARP cost. The RP, whenever the cash flow management is there, daily whatever the CARP costs are there, that costs are to be paid. Then salaries, both workers as well as employees. Power charges, whatever the electric charges are there, that is also essential supplies, whatever the water and essential supply, statutory dues, current only, current means during CIRP, whatever the tax liabilities are there, that is also to be paid. Cash preservation become vital. So here the finance function that is important. Why? Because the CIRP is originated on account of the liquidity problem only. Once the same liquidity problem arises, then it is very difficult to continue the company as a going concern. As a going concern. Next one is working capital. Working capital management is also another area. Another area. What is meant by working capital? The current assets and the current liabilities. So the even working capital also funded by the commercial banks. And this working capital, raw material or labor or overheads, that amount is required. Suppose sometimes the raw material we will purchase by way of the creditors. Particularly some of the creditors, what they are doing is they will supply the raw material on credit. On credit. So that's why working capital, receivables management. Whatever the data are there, the data are to be recovered daily. So in the data of the balance sheet, whatever the data are there, send notices to them. If they are not paid, then issue the legal notice also. And whatever, when the companies provide the credit to the debtors, the company are taking bills of exchange. Once the bill of exchange is there, the bill of exchange, they will file a in court and recover them. And once the receivables are there, that is closely to be monitored by the companies. Payables. Payables means the creditors. Those who are supplied the raw material, those who are supplied the services also. Even the payables also, the wages, the salaries, etc., etc. So that's why the receivables and the payables are also very important. Payables means if at all you are not promptly paid to the creditors, then it will be a problem. Then it will be a problem. Payables, then it will be a problem. And the inventory, stock should be maintained. At least 1 week stock. Once the stock is exhausted, again order to be placed. Once you are going to place the order, whatever the earlier dues are there, that earlier dues you have to pay. Then only the working capital cycle will be rotated. Otherwise, it will break. And bank balances. Whatever the bank balances are there, whatever the receipts are there, that is to be deposited in the bank. Whatever the purchases and other payments are there, that is to be routed to the banks. And once any problem is there with regard to working capital, you request the particular the financial creditor for interim finance like that. Interim finance like that. So the focus, the working capital, accelerate the collections. Whatever the collections are there, that is to be accelerated. Once it is accelerated, then only the liquidity problem will not arise. Prevent unnecessary payments. Prevent unnecessary payments. Unnecessary payments are to be prevented. So don't pay. If at all there is no obligation or pressure is not there, for the time being, hold it. And reduce the inventory holding. Too much inventory is also dead asset. Because once I am they taken the loan from the bank and keep the inventory in the godown, it attracts interest. So that's why reduce the inventory holding also. Not only that one, optimize procurement. So the procurement of raw materials. So some of the people they may not pay, they interested to supply. Some people they are interested. So you maintain the list, and those who are interested to supply, and the credit terms are also to be important. Credit terms. Some of the people they will give for 45 days. Some people they will give 20 days. Some people they will offer discounts also. So the optimization procurement is also required, particularly with regard to the working capital management. Working capital management. Now coming to cost control. Being an IP, you should have the knowledge in cost control. How to minimize the cost. How to minimize the cost. So if at all cost is minimized, unnecessary costs are to be controlled, definitely some good results will happen. What are the RP should identify? Fixed costs. Whatever the fixed costs that are incurring, utilize optimum. Suppose I take for example, stores are there. Stores means the stocks are to be. If at all the store is a big one and the stocks are this one, you use only the portion of the store's area. Remaining one is hiring that one so that you will get some revenue. Some of the companies initially they've constructed a big one. In the meantime, hiring that one. Once you hired, at any time he will vacate also. So that's why the luxury expenses are to be controlled. And whatever the luxury expenses are there in the company, control that one. Because now the company is in doldrums. Whatever the luxury expenses, control that one. Unused rentals. Some companies, they will hire in different places, but they are not using. Once you are not using that premises, de-hire that one. De-hire that one. Otherwise, if at all you are not de-hired, it is a monthly obligation to you. And the excess manpower. If at all excess manpower is there in the company, you they give suitable notice as per HR policy and remove that one. No work, no pay. No work, no pay. That is one of the NCLAT orders. One of the NCLAT orders. Excess manpower. Idle utilities. And what are the idle utilities are there? Use them in an optimum manner. And if at all your idle utilities are there, you remove that one or utilize maximally. Only two alternatives that are available. Financial statement analysis. So RP should understand what is a balance sheet. RP should understand what is a profit and loss account. RP should understand what is the cash flow statement. RP should understand what are the ratio analysis. What is the quick ratio? What is the current ratio? What is the debt equity ratio? What is the gross profit ratio? What is the net profit sales ratio? All ratios are to be analyzed. How the company, because here, that's why from day one onwards, your legal expertise is very much required. At the same time, the managerial experience is also required. The managerial. So you should understand the important ratios. What are the important ratio? Current assets ratio. What is meant by current assets? What is meant by current liabilities? Current assets divided by current liabilities. The current ratio is 2:1 and 1.33 is also acceptable. What is meant by current assets? Those assets which are to be converted into cash within one accounting year is called current assets. What is meant by current liabilities? those liabilities which are to be payable by the company within one accounting period. Not only that one, debt equity ratio. What is the equity of the company? How much debt is there? Too much debt is a dangerous one. Why? Because monthly or quarterly or yearly, the interest to be paid. So if the equity is more, debt is less, then it is good. And sometimes if too much equity is there and less debt is also dangerous. Why? Because the earnings per share will decrease. Earnings per share will decrease. EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation, amortization margins. That is also to be calculated. Inventory turnover. What is meant by inventory turnover? If you take the sales and the closing, particularly the closing, the closing balance, particularly the opening and closing balance average is equal to stock. Stock, the sales divided by stock is equal to inventory turnover ratio. If at all the turnover is more times, definitely it will give some good results. If turnover is not up to the mark, it is not up to the mark, company is in dull terms. Next one is a debt service coverage ratio. The debt service coverage ratio. What is a debt service coverage ratio? How much the surplus is there? How many installment and principal plus interest installment to be paid by the company? How much the DSCR is there? That also you should have the knowledge. Under financial management, particularly under financial management, and these are the areas. You should understand the cash flow statement. You should understand the working capital for the management. You should understand the cost control. You should understand the financial analysis of the company. You should understand what are the important ratios and fraud and diversion detection. RP must identify related party transactions in the finance or preferential transactions in the finance or undervalued transaction in finance or fraudulent trading in the finance or diversion of funds in the. And this is crucial under section 43, 45, 50 and 66 of the IBC. So these areas you should have give attention under the financial management. And you should also prepare the budgeting. The budgeting is very important. Why? Because you are going to incur CIRP cost, including your professional fees also. What are the sources? If at all sources are not there, your remuneration will also be delayed. Sources are to be created. The sources may be interim finance, or if at all the company is a going concern, some revenue will be generated. So the sources are for that. The first priority is the CIRP budget. Second one is operational budget. What is the operational budget? Purchasing of raw materials, or the salaries to be paid to the production department. All these things are comes under the particularly operational budget. And the next one is survival budget. Once the company to be survived, not stopped, how much funds are required, for what purpose the payments, that budget also you have to prepare. Not only that one, the resolution process cost budget. Whatever the resolution cost is there incurred by the company, that resolution process cost also to be prepared by you. Once these are prepared, then only it gives some comfort to you, and it is easy to manage the company during CIRP. Next one is understanding of the marketing function. So we will take for break for tea for 10 minutes. After that, we will start the marketing function. Is it okay, sir? Is it okay? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to marketing function. The resolution professional should understand the marketing function. The production, the finance is over. The marketing is also another important function in any business organization. Even during insolvency, business survival depends upon the customer. Even though we are talking about going concern, going concern, going concern, the going concern is depending upon the particularly the customers. If at all the customers are purchasing my product, which is manufactured by the company, then only the survival is possible. Otherwise, there is no survival. Without marketing and customer retention, sales will collapse. The sales of the organization will collapse, and brand weakness will also happen. Brand weakness will also happen. And not only that one, valuation will also fall. Once the brand weakens, the company valuation, total valuation will also lose. So that's why marketing function, understanding the marketing function is also one of the important area by the resolution profession. The key marketing areas for the resolution profession are customer analysis. What type of customers are there? The resolution profession should identify who are the major customers of the company. Revenue concentration and credit terms and customer dependency. So the major customers, who are the major customers? That I should know. And what is the revenue concentration? Where the major revenue is generated to the company, that the RP should focus on those areas. And the credit terms. The company is giving credit, whether 30 days or 45 days or 60 days or 90 days like that, are customer dependence. The questions like which customer contribute 80% of the revenue, and whether the customer are shifting competitors. That also I should know. So whether the customers are shifting competitors. So one customer, he will shift from one customer to another customer to another company to another company like that. That also I should know. And order book position. How many pending orders are there? How many people are ready to purchase? How many cancel orders are there? And future contracts and the export commitments, all these things are also, you should have the knowledge. Knowledge means particularly some certain cases this will happen, not in all cases. As I told one professional earlier, sir, this will not happen in almost all companies. Only certain companies it will happen. Most of the companies they are not having any assets and other things. Correct, correct. But whenever today what is happening? Number of companies are failing on account of this Iran-Iraq war. Now the economy is in great trouble. Once this is there, some of the companies, particularly in doldrums, once the government is not giving any support to the companies, definitely most of the the bankers will also file the cases with either debt recovery tribunal or SURFACE or IBC also in the coming days, because economy is not good. The future context or cancelled orders, export commitments, future contracts, how the company is going to manufacture the future contracts, whether supply of raw material and the labor and the utilities are available or not, and export commitments, whatever the exports are there, that how they are going to fulfill. The order book also you have to verify. how many orders are cancelled, how many orders are in pipeline, how many future orders are to be fulfilled. Out of that, how many are export orders, like that. Sales realization. We should also have the knowledge of the sales realization, the pricing strategy, the discounts, and the margins, and the competitive positioning, etc. Once you are, how the sales, what is the pricing strategy? Whether the pricing is a cost plus some profit or elsewhere. And what is the discount we are offering? Whether the discount is a reasonable discount or not. And margins. The margin, whether what is the cost of operation and how much margin I am getting, and competitive positioning in the market, what is the competitive? This also should have the knowledge to the particular IRP or RPs. Market reputation. The CIRP negatively impacts the customer confidence and vendor trust and brand perception. Once a CIRP is continued forever and the things are not materialized and the company performance is deteriorated, the market reputation of the company will also deteriorate. So that's why the CIRP is negatively impacts the customer confidence will lost. Once the CIRP is continued and vendors trust, and in the future, if at all the particularly IRP or RP requested the vendor, please provide the raw material, I will pay the amount, miss, they may reluctant also. The brand perception. The brand perception. Whatever the brand is there, that brand over a period of time, it will lost also its entity. So that's why to retain the brand, to retain the vendor, to retain the customer, the CIRP to be closed at the earliest. And during CIRP also, if at all you are going concern and some of the debts you are paying, particularly during CIRP debts, not before that, then the confidence level of the customer, vendors, and the brand reputation will continue. RP must manage a communication carefully about the company. If at all any negative messages are floating in the market, then it will be a problem also. It will be a problem also. Business continuity communication. You have to give the message to the public. If the company is continuing the business, and don't give a scope for a negative communication. RP should communicate operations continues normally. If the operations are continued, you tell to the public that operations are continued. Don't worry about like that. Supplies will be honored. Whatever the supplies, we will honor, we will provide. That confidence level among the customers are to be provided. And the employees continuity exists. And if employees a negative feeling is there, definitely that will also a problem. The employees continuity exists. Quality standards maintained. Whatever the quality is there, the quality to be maintained. And these preserve enterprise value. Once all these things are happening, then only the enterprise value will increase. Otherwise, the enterprise value will not increase. Otherwise, the entrepreneur value will not increase. So operations are continuing normally. The supplies, whatever the supplies you have promised, that is to be materialized, and the employees continuity to be exist. Otherwise, if at all you are removing the employees, that impacts on the negative communication, the market, quality standards are to be maintained. This preserves enterprise value. Understanding human resource function. So we have completed particularly the finance function, the production function, and the marketing function. The next important function is human resource function. This is also one of the important function. The like raw material, the manpower is also required. If a manpower is not required and not happened, then the total production stoppage will happen. So the continuity of raw material, the continuity of the manpower is also required. Employees are backbone to the CAR. If employees lose confidence and the production suffers, data may lost, and a skilled workforce may resign, and a labor dispute may arise. So you have to retain the employees' confidence. Once there is a scope and potential for continuity, you build up the confidence level among the employees. So production should not be suffer. Data may be lost once the confidence level is increased. Data lost. What is the data loss? Suppose the employees are resigned. Then whatever the existing company's data, they will share to the competitors also. So the production reduce and the skilled workers may resign also. So once one by one, they are resigning, there is a pressure on the existing manpower. Once there is a pressure to the existing manpower, then it will be a problem. Labor dispute may arise. The labor dispute may also arise. Not only that one, the key areas of HR is employee strengthen the analysis. Employee strength analysis that is required. RP should classify permanent employees, contract, how many are there, skilled manpower is there, how many key managerial person. So once you are handling the CARP function, you should classify the total employees and the permanent employees how many, contract employees how many, skilled manpower how many, managerial key managerial person how many. All these things segregation is also required. Once segregated, then it is very easy. Payroll management. You should ask how many staff members are there, what is the payroll. All these things you have to analyze. RP must ensure timely salary payments. Then only the staff will retain. Otherwise, the staff will not retain. Statutory deductions. Once you have deducted the statutory, then you have to pay to the income tax, or if at all any other ESI or provident fund or gratuity, etc. And EPF, provident fund in ESI compliance, labor law compliance also. And delay in salaries create operational instability. The operational instability, delay in salaries creates operational instability. Once the delays, definitely some of the people, they may left the organization. They may leave the organizations. And retentions of key employees. The key persons, suppose some production is there, they are expert, marketing that is expert, and some of the finance also, they will bring the various sources and manage the company, that is also there. So almost all departments, more or less, the important for the organization. The critical personnel include plant heads. They know how the plant condition, they know how the plant weaknesses, all these things they know perfectly. Then only they will give the best for running the plant. And the finance managers, the finance managers are particularly the finance managers. These finance managers, they will bring, if at all any liquidity problem is there, they know who are going to provide the funds with a lower rate of interest. They know the market conditions. They know some of the people, they are ready to provide fund with security, without security. These particulars are known to the finance managers. Technical experts, particularly in the production department or IT department, technical experts are there. They required also. That's why these people should not leave the organization. Once they left the organization, further problems will arise. Further problems will arise. So IT administration today, one of the factors of production that is important in the company is the IT people. If IT is not handled, nobody is there in the IT, the company will not move further. So the IT function is also very important. Marketing heads. So even though the company is manufacturing the product, ultimately the revenue should be generated. Once the revenue should be generated means the customers where it is located, known to the marketing heads only. How to sell, how to increase, they penetrate the price, how much discounts are to be allowed. All these things are known to the person, particularly the marketing heads. The RP should maintain continuity. So all these heads, they are important. They are the key managerial person. The RP should continue these professions in a best manner. Otherwise, it will be a problem to the company. And you have to maintain the labor relations. What are the labor relations? Today, if salaries are not paid, 1 month or 2 months, they will wait, not forever. So, based on the reputation of the company, based on the working culture or employee relation, some of the people, even though they are not getting salaries, they still working for the company. So we should not leave those people. And RP must monitor to maintain cordial relationship. In most of the manufacturing companies, unions are there. So the union leaders are there. You have to take into fold of the union leaders and groom them properly. The union activities. So you have to call the union leader or association leader. So you enlighten him as an RP, enlighten him what is the problem. Why the company is going to restore its full operation? When the company is going to complete this resolution process, all these things how to enlighten to the union activities, union people, pending disputes, whatever the pending is there, if at all that you are mentioning in the resolution plan or expression of the particularly information memoranda, tell to the union leaders about this one also. Then only the confidence level will increase. Otherwise, even without work also, they are insisting for the wages and the grievances. Whatever the small grievances during CIRP also, that can be resolved by the resolution profession. And the strike risk, if at all the company is not doing the best, definitely they will go on strike. Once they are going on strike, then it is a further deterioration of the company, deterioration of the value of the company. All these things will happen. So the labor relationship also, what is the organization culture? And build a confidence in total organization, all staff members. If the company is in the coming days, if the company is definitely good results will happen means inform them immediately by way of suitable communication. Then automatically those who are going to resign from the company, they won't take any decision. Some of the companies, why people are joining? The management is good. The service conditions are good. It may be the nearest to his residence, and every increments or promotions they are giving good. Like that, they will always compare. Once why they are not living your company, this company means some positive points are there. That positive points, we have to continue that one. Build a confidence, maintain discipline. Even though the company is facing CIRP, discipline is very much required. We should not indiscipline the. No, anyhow, the company is in doldrums. Why should I leave? Why should I control like that? If at all you are not controlling, then automatically sideline, the people will go in sidelines. Then it is prevent a panic situation. Don't prevent. Oh, anyhow, the company is going to be closed, or company going to be in the liquidation, or the company is going into the hands of hard people. So prevent the panic. Some of the rumors only that this type of panic situation will arise. Prevent the panic. Encourage cooperation. So whatever the best is there, you have to cooperate with them. Then only the best things will happen. Encourage cooperation. And whatever the organization, you mingle with the people, you interact with the people, you communicate with the people, then only the people will believe, then only the people will continue, then only the people will not resign, then only the people will stick on to the organization. Stick on to the organization. Understanding procurement and purchase function. This is another function. After HR, this is another function. Any doubts are there, sir, up to this point of time? Sir, any
No, sir.
clarifications are required?
No, well explained, sir.
Because all these functions, some knowledge is required, sir. My intention of that lecture is all functions. If at all I don't know what are the activities of HR function, means then it will be a problem. And I should know what are the particularly not only the function, the activities, particularly cement factory. What is the process? Pharma, what is the process? Even today, whenever the banks are giving advertisement, they are asking that particular that domain expert in that particular sector or people, those RPs only I require. Why? Because if at all you don't know ABC of that, that is a going concern. Once the going concern means on account of your arrival, if the company is further deteriorated, then it is very, very easy, very, very difficult for the company to come out from CAR. So once you step into the company, it should be benefit to the company, not the deterioration. Some of the people, if at all they don't bother about the functions of the company, definitely it will deteriorate. I have seen that once. I have seen that type of companies also. No, my role is not to run the company. In that case, what is the meaning of going concern? I don't bother about the highest rate. In that the connection, why the maximization, the rule is there in the IBC. Now, procurement and purchase function. The company requires, manufacturing company, they require raw material. They have to procure. Once the company is in problem, who will supply? Normally will not supply. But tell the vendors also, during CIRP, whatever the supplies you are providing, that is a priority payment. Then I will reimburse that. And instead of supplying heavily, you supply small quantity. Once I paid, then only you start. The confidence level of Nagarjuna Fertilizers Limited, that is a good example. That is a good example. So procurement directly affects the operational contribution. RP should understand vendor base. Vendor base. You call all the vendors. No problem. You call all the vendors. The company has taken, they based on the claims received from the vendors. You tell these vendors are, I have received. The total amount is like this. And some vendors, they have not submitted their claims properly. If at all any proof is there, submit the same. Otherwise, later on, it will be a problem. That is point one. Second point, whatever the liquidation value is there, then I will provide they request the resolution applicant, PRA, to pay the amount. Okay, second point is also over. Third, now the company is in good condition and going concern. So once the company is in going concern, please supply the raw material. But the raw material, whatever you are going to supply, I will provide I will pay the amount as a priority payment. Then they may raise some questions. That questions you have to answer. So vendor base. And what is a vendor base? How many vendors are there? How much amount I have to due for them? Credit terms. Whatever the credit terms, you should understand. And normally earlier, before CIRP, how many days they have given? After CIRP, why they have reduced? Earlier, the vendors are used to provide the raw material for 60 days or 90 days like that. Today they reduce. Okay. But you tell, okay, whatever happened, happened. But this I will pay within 30 days. Continue the payment. I will give the first priority. And if at all I have not paid, then second time don't supply. Or for this also, if at all unencumbered property is there, get the permission from the COC and give that one to supply the raw material loss. Dependency risks. If at all few vendors are, you are depending, if they are not supplying, then the problem will arise. Dependency always not acceptable. Procurement cycle, how much time it will take? And how much time it will take to convert the raw material into finished goods? That also you have to key risks involved. Suppliers demanding advance payment. Even though you are talking so many things, suppliers are demanding advance payments. But advance payments, had it been there, then the company will not face the CIRP also. So the suppliers demand advance payments. Not only the supply disruptions are also there. Sometimes the supplies disruptions are also there. So some of the suppliers, they will give top priority for the running companies. They don't give any importance to the CIRP companies who are facing CIRP. And inflated procurement. And earlier also, if they purchase, they have taken only 100, but the bill will be 1,000 units like that, 100 cages like that. These things are happening. That's why the creditors as well as the debtors, lot of fraudulent transactions are there. Not only the fraudulent, but also the related party transactions are there. And a related party procurement, that also to be verified. Now you have to understand the information technology also. You have to understand the information technology functions. The modern business depends heavily on IT systems. RP should secure. You should understand the current modern, almost all companies, without technology, there is a, whether it is a, but all are e-marketing also. Most of the companies are e-marketing, and most of the companies they are supplying to Amazon also. So technology is one of the important area in the business operations. Without the technology, there is no business today. Almost all businesses are linked to this particularly the linked to the technology only. So you should understand what type of technology, where the technology is used, whether they are used in production function or recruitment function or e-marketing and marketing function or finance function, particularly any funds that are the markets, various markets, foreign market or Indian market, they are mobilizing the funds from private placement. So technology, whatever the technology, particularly the accounting system or even production also, lot of technology some companies are using. Why? Because the cost of operations will reduce once the technology is used. So for that, ERP systems are also placed, entrepreneur resource plan. And the accounting software is also. Today, Tally or different softwares. So today to get the data, to prepare the balance sheet, to prepare the profit and loss account, number of functions are customer databases. So whatever the customer database that is available with the company, if you want, you can see that one also. How many customers are there? What type of customers are there? And what is their annual supply or demand? And north how many, south how many, east, west, that this one also available. And the financial records. The financial records are also available. How many debtors, and what is the periodicity the for credit, why they have defaulted, all this email system. Today, the database is linked to the email system. The database is also linked to the SMS system also. So take for example debtors. If at all debtors are not paid, immediately you send one email to them. Immediately you send through email to them. Definitely they will pay, or continuous email or SMS, because this is not that much, it is as good as a fixed cost, as good as a fixed cost. Cyber security come. So at the same time, you have to safeguard your particular data also. Why? Because not to attack by the cyber fraudsters. Today that is also happening. Today that is also happening. Major risk involved in the information technologies, data deletion. That's why I told the day one onwards, whenever you are reporting to a company, instead of going to a bank, the company's bank, to stop the operation, first you go to the company and contact that particular systems administrator. And whatever the password and whatever the user ID are there, first disable that and take the backup, whatever the total data that is there. And whatever the historical data backups are available, that is under your control. That is under your control. Data deletion, major risks. Some of the people, what they are doing, once you reported and you are not asking and you are not aware of the IT function, in the meantime, the earlier corporate data will instruct the systems administrator to delete the data. Once the data is deleted, then it will be a problem. Unauthorized access. So here, who are handling the computer, whether they are authorized or not, that is also a question mark. If it are unauthorized people are accessing the computer system, then it will be a problem. So unauthorized public should not access manipulation of records. Some of the, if unauthorized people are accessing the system, then they will manipulate the record. They may erase the records. They may reduce the amount. All these things are there. So cyber attacks. These are the major risks in the particular the IT systems. Understanding the legal and the compliance function. That is another department. So this department also you should aware of what they are doing. So once you are entered into the company, and whatever the relationship manager is there in the company, or any finance or production, you call that particular person and jot down how many departments are there, and each and department who is the head, and each and department how many manpower is there, and after that you contact all the particular heads, and whatever their requirement, whatever their functions, ask them to prepare in a report map. Report map. Understanding the legal and the compliance function. RP must ensure ongoing compliance. Ongoing compliance. Statutory compliance. What is a statutory compliance? So you have to ask, what is the position of GST? Whether we have to pay or we have to receive, or any the appellate authorities are fined or not. And in the similar manner, you have to ask income tax. The finance manager, you ask the finance manager, and what is the income tax position? Whether all returns are filed or yet to be filed, or whether we are receiving the amount or we have to pay the amount. If at all we are going to pay the amount, what is the latest status in the particular appellate authority and other things? Provident fund. You have to ask the HR manager whether all provident funds are submitted to employee provident fund, EPFO, timely or not. Even ESI for the workers, employees state insurance, whether that is paid to the ESI promptly or not, that is to be checked by you. Not only that one, Factories Act. So in the Factories Act also, whatever that particular this one is there, what is that one? The labor code. Whether labor code is implemented properly or not. Next, any disputes are there with the unions or employees, and whatever that factory, the employees' compensation, any amounts are due or not, that also you have to verify. And you should know the statutory compliance of the pollution. Otherwise, the pollution authorities, they will instruct the company authorities to close that one. Why? Because the pollution authority is having if at all any air pollution or water pollution or contamination is happening, or any particularly this waste management, then they will impose so many penalties, and they will ask to close the company also. So here, once the particularly the company is creating problem to the public, here IBC prevail over other acts, all these things may not use. Why? Because once the company is in operating without following the particular air pollution or water pollution or waste management, then people will suffer a lot. Public will suffer a lot. Pollution control loss and labor loss. All labor code to be implemented properly. SEBI compliance. The SEBI compliance are also to be implemented. The listed companies. how many what is the guide and guidelines for listed companies? Whether the listed companies are they followed by the particular this one or not, that is also to be verified. The listed entities and contractual obligations. RP should review major contracts. Whatever the contracts with the company, that is to be reviewed by the RP. What is a major contracts? How many contracts are pending? How many contracts are pending? And what is the status? What is the status? Whether some of the contracts, if at all it is not in force, cancel that one. Otherwise, we have to pay the penalties also, or we have to pay the amount also. Suppose take for example, outsourcing of some manpower, the contract still in live. If at all the manpower, the company is not continuing as a going concern, cancel that one. And lease agreement, even lease agreement, particularly proclines or heavy equipment, if the company is not in going concern, cancel that lease agreement and take back that particular equipment. Why? Because if at all unnecessarily, if there is no use, then as per lease agreement, we have to pay penalties also. Not only penalty, if at all the equipment is damaged, then automatically the company will claim amount also. Joint ventures. How many joint ventures are there for the company? And what are their activities? And all these things are also to be verified. Licenses, particularly the licenses in pharma company. How many licenses are there? How many are valid? How many are stale? Next, what is the value of the license? Whether the same value is mentioned in the valuation report or not. And not only that one, the guarantees. The guarantees also to be verified. What is the guarantees? Particularly, the company will give some guarantees or take some guarantees. They are taking from the guarantees from the banks also. So that guarantees are also to be verified carefully. And how many are going to devolve or invoke, that also you have to verify. So that's why the RP should also verify the contractual obligations. Contractual obligations of the company. Sir, any doubts are there, sir, up to this point with regard to contractual obligations and other things?
No.
So, what total picture you should understand about the company? So, from the production department, next one is you should know about the manufacturing process, and you should know in the production department what is the capacity utilization of the company, and you should know how many plant and machinery, what is the status, what is the insurance policy. You should know what type of raw material the company is going to procure, how many vendors are there, what is the terms of vendors, and you should know the supply chain continuity is there or not, both on the product raw material as well as a final good also. And not only that one, you should know about quality control department of the company, how they are assessing quality, any complaints are there, that also you should aware. Not only that one, understanding of the finance function. The next function is finance function. You should know about a finance function. What is the role? What areas they are looking to? And in the finance function, you have to prepare the cash flow management, daily cash flows. What is the receipt? What is the payments and all these things? And working capital management also you should prepare. You should prepare the working capital management for the company, and cost control also. You should also verify the cost control, whether the cost is controlled or not. Once the cost is not controlled, then the company will face the problem. You should know about the financial statement analysis. What is the balance sheet? What is the profit and loss account ratio analysis? How the profit is increasing or decreasing? Whether the sales are increasing or decreasing? Sales turnover is increasing or decreasing? Sales turnover ratio and important ratio, current ratio, debt equity, and EBITDA or inventory turnover, debt service coverage ratio, etc. And you should know about fraud and diversion or detection, particularly from the finance point of view, related party, preferential, undervalue, fraudulent, etc. You should know how the company is preparing the budget, and not only that existing budget, the CIRP budget. After the commencement of the CIRP, how to prepare the operation budget, how to prepare the survival budget, how to prepare the resolution process cost budget, like that. And you should have the knowledge in marketing function, marketing, how the sales are to be increased, how the brand value to be increased. Next, what is the valuation, etc. The key functions areas you should understand perfectly. Next, you have to verify the order book position. How many orders are booked? How many pending? How many cancelled? How many future contacts are? How much export commitment, etc. Not only that one, sales realization. So the sales realization also you have to verify. So, what is the price strategy of the company? How much discounts the company is giving? What is the margin? Profit how much? Cost of sales how much? And how many competitors are there in the company? That also you should know. Not only that one, market reputation. How much market reputation is there for the company? Whether the company on account of CIRP, what is whether the market reputation fallen or not? Whether it is a temporary or not. And for retain the market the reputation, you have to build up the customer confidence or vendor or brand, etc. And business continuity communication. Whatever the you are handling CIRP, during CIRP also you have to provide communication to the whether the operations or supplies or employees or quality standards, etc., etc. And understanding of the human resources. Then you go to the human resource department, and how much manpower is there? What type of a manpower is there? If at all you are not having an idea, then that is also a problem. And permanent employees, how many? Contract workers, how many? Skilled manpower, how many? Key managerial persons, how many? All these things are also you should know. Next one is payroll management. Every month, how much you are paying, how much you are paying salaries, whether the salaries are the adequate revenue is available or not. Whatever the statutory deductions are there, whether it is a TDS or any GST, whether they are timely paid or not, and PF, Provident Fund, pension fund, new pension plan, or employees state insurance, after deducting from the particular client, they are paying to the concerned regulators or not. Next, you have to see the labor law compliance, whether the labor law compliance they are adopting, particularly the labor code, they are adopting or not. They are adopting or not. How to retain the key employees? That also you have to verify. Do you have to retain the plant heads? You have to retain the finance heads. You have to retain the technical heads. You have to retain the IT heads. You have to retain the marketing heads. Once all these people are leave the organization, then it is very difficult for you to continue the company as a going concern. That's why all the staff members normally you should not allow to resign, and you try to convince them. And if at all any positive factors are there in the CIRP, okay, now the RP resolution applicant finalized, and shortly he will take over. You will continue in the same, if at all you continue in the same organization, whatever the earlier salaries, particularly the new company may offer higher or continue the same. Like that, you try to convince them. Labor relations, you maintain the labor relations. If at all you are fighting with the unions, then they don't allow to work. They don't allow to work. So that's why the union activities are also, you have to maintain perfectly. Otherwise, it will be a problem. It will be a problem. So the union activities are pending disputes. If at all any pending disputes are there, resolve that one. No. I'm concentrating on CIRP means that is not correct. Any grievances, labor grievances are there. Address that grievance. Then only some good results will happen. Strike risks are common. So you have to be alert. And a glass handle with care. You have to handle the manpower in a careful manner. Otherwise, they will start the problems. So to avoid all these things, you should be careful in handling the labor, the HR, that is human resources. Otherwise, if at all people are resigned, and how you will run the company? It is very difficult to take the new people in a big manner, and the new people may not aware how to run the company. And organization culture also you have to develop, build a confidence, maintain discipline, prevent panic, and encourage cooperation also. That is also one of the area. Understanding procurement and purchase function. So once the goods have to be manufactured, then you have to, once the goods have to be manufactured, the raw material to be supplied. Once the raw material is not there, how you will manufacture the goods? So that's why the procurement or purchase functions are also to be developed, and the key risks in this area, and particularly supply demand and supply disruptions will happen, and inflated procurement, related procurement, etc., etc. And you have to understand the IT department also. The IT department is what is the ERP, what is the accounting software, where the customer data, because once the customer data not protected, some of the employees they will share the customer data to other companies also. Once they share the data to other companies, they will grab the customers, and you don't have the customer. Even though you are manufacturing the product, nobody is ready to purchase the product. Financial records and emails and cyber controls, etc., etc., and data deletion. So if at all you are not having grip or command on IT systems, the data may be deleted. Once the data is deleted, how you will prepare the provisional balance sheet, how to verify the claims, all these things will be a problem. Some of the people unauthorized access. So that's why I told clearly, whenever the systems are, whenever you are handling the CIRP, first you contact the systems administrator. The systems administrator ask them to disable all the user ID password, and afresh based on the need. In the meantime, whatever the data is there, take the backup, secondary data. Then if at all anybody erased the data, then it will not be a problem for you. They will manipulate also. And the cyber attacks are also happening. Understanding the legal and the compliance function. And that also you have to understand. ongoing compliance and GST, whether they are paying GST correctly or not, how much dues are there, whether they have paid income tax correctly or not, how much dues are there, any refunds are expecting, and whether they are paying provident fund, pension fund, and employee state insurance perfectly or not, how much due, how much a factories act, any workman compensation is there, or pollution control laws, all these things they have to provide. And the labor laws also, whatever the labor laws, whether they are implemented the labor laws or not. And in case of SEBI also, if the company is a listed company, the listing agreement continued or not, what are the listing formalities are there, that is also to be fulfilled. Contractual obligation, how many contracts are there in the company, whether the contracts are still continuing or closed. If at all not closed, if the company is going to pay amount, if there is no activity, some of the contracts are to be closed. Suppose cleaning, if the company is not a going concern, what is the purpose of daily cleaning of unused premises and joint ventures? You should have the knowledge about joint venture. You should have the knowledge about the licenses. How many licenses are there? How many licenses are stale? How many are current? And what is the valuation? Whether the same valuation is taken over by the valuer or not, all these things you have to. And the preserve the licenses carefully, particularly in pharma industry. These licenses are value only. Guarantees. How many guarantees are there? How many you have taken guarantees from the bank by way of a bank guarantee or letters of credit? What is the latest status? All these things you should have. Litigation management. You should also know about the how many litigations are there, how many pending cases are there, and how many arbitration matters are there, and how many recovery suits and legal proceedings. This list also you have to grab it. Understanding of the service organization. So far we have dealt with the manufacturing organization. Sometimes you may get some service organization CIRP also. That also you can handle operation differ from manufacturing. Employees of service organization. Examples, particularly IT company CIRP. Some IT company also they have funded by the banks, particularly in Bangalore. Some of my friends are handling IT companies, CIRP also. Hospitals. Hospitals also they are borrowing money from the banks. And if they are not paid, hospitals are also under CIRP. Hotels. This is hotels are a number of hotels that is there. And educational institution. Now the banks are also giving loans, but the educations due to the lower demand or some issues, the education institutions also under CIRP and beyond that NBFCs. So NBFCs are also there. Consulting firms and the logistic companies, transport companies are also under CIRP. Key focus area on the service organization. What are the areas to be focused? Human capital, the primary asset in an employee and expertise. Human capital is more. Take for example, IT company. IT company, human capital is more when compared to others. And the customer retention. Loss of clients causes immediate value erosion, particularly in service organization. If at all any company is undergoing the CIRP, definitely the customer will switch over from that company to another company immediately. They don't think about this company and they're going concern, all these things. They require service, immediate service. And the technology systems, particularly in the critical technology systems are also critical in IT, banking, telecom, health. Today, the banking companies are not comes under the purview of the IBC. Earlier, IBC, the IBC one 2016 IBC and one more the that is another act is also they formed for a service organization like a financial institution, chit funds, life insurance, etc. But at that time, people are resisted. That's why that bill was not enacted in Parliament. Service quality, customer satisfaction becomes the center. Particularly if at all you are handling the hotels or hospitals, then satisfaction becomes a center. So that's why you have to take more precautions while handling this type of the service organization. Sector specific knowledge is required by RP. So the manufacturing sectors, you should have the knowledge in steel. What is the TMT steel? What are the various types of steel manufacturing companies? And whether any regulatory guidelines or any sector guidelines are there. Next, cement also, another sector. What is the process of a cement? Where the raw material is available? How they are procuring? What is the royalty? What is the royalty to dig the particular mines and it is one type of input. Next, textile. Textile is another sector. And here also, whether it is a government or any other textile manufacturing. And here, the textile also, what type of products, who is the vendors to supply the raw material, who is the particular customers to procure the final products, etc. Like that, you should have the knowledge in pharmaceuticals also. Pharmaceutical companies, how the pharmaceutical companies procure the raw material, whether it is a bulk drugs or injections or different types are there. And who are the end users? Some of the raw material, the pharma companies, they are exporting to other countries. Not only that one, pharma companies, number of licenses are there. Number of licenses. What is the validity of license and all this? Chemical companies. The chemicals also you can they understand what type of chemicals and all these things. This also you do. Next, automobile also. The what are the whether it is a spare parts or manufacturing of cars or any commercial vehicles or two-wheelers or three-wheelers, etc. And what are the process, what is the input and what are the output? Next, service sectors, ITES, healthcare, education, hospitality, logistics, and financial services, etc. Today, the financial services are not under the purview of the IBC. IBC. Next, each sector has a unique, particularly each sector has its own regulation and their cost structure is entirely different. The operational risks are also different. The revenue models are also different. And the strategic responsibilities of RP should stabilize operations. Once you are taken over any company, you have to stabilize the operation. You have to control the operation. Then only the success rate will increase. If at all you are not having the command on the operations, then nothing will happen in that particular company. Because once the operations are started, then revenue will start. Restore the stakeholders' confidence. Whoever is there, tell the latest question. Once the expression of interest is issued. In the short time, I will issue the request for resolution plan. Once a request for resolution, they will submit and I will finalize. Once finalized, I will hand over the company to them. So thereby, you will get some, and you have to preserve the value. Whatever the assets are there, don't leave it like that. You have to preserve. You have to do the security. You have to provide the security and the maintenance also. The maintenance also. Improve transparency. The transparency is very, very important. If at all you are hiding to the workers, if at all you are hiding to the operational creator, then they may do some wrong things also. They may approach the different the adjudicating authority also. And then take into fold and facilitate a viable resolution. Don't compromise. Financial creditors always thinking about recovery. And don't be recovery. Resolution. That too highest. That too highest. So that's why that is very, very important. Management information system. RP should establish a strong MIS report. That is required. If at all a strong resolution is not there, then complaints will arise. MIS, that is important to stakeholders, all the stakeholders, whether it is an operational or financial creditor or employees or anybody. Otherwise, they are thinking that you are doing some wrong things. That's why you are not communicated properly. Essentials of MIS report. You have to give the daily reports, like a cash, the production, the sales, collection. Once a daily report is there, tomorrow how much cash is required to run the company? How much cost I am going to incur? Accordingly, I have to supply the cash. Where is the sources? Whether I have to go for interim finance or any sales revenue or any debtors collection, production, sales and collections, all these things daily reports are required. Not only that one, weekly reports are also you develop so that the stakeholders' confidence will increase. So weekly working capital, how much required? What is the current assets? What is the current liabilities? How much inventory is required? And what is the receivables aging? What is the receivables? That is the 90 days cross or 180 days cross. What is the vendor payments? How many vendors I have paid? How many vendors still I have to pay? All these things. And profitability. Monthly, arrive the profit, whether any surplus or negative. If negative is there is no use of going concern. Negative, suppose the revenue is 100, the cost is 110. 10 rupees value, the erosion of the asset, which is not correct. Capacity utilization. Once you reach the optimum level, then your per unit cost will reduce. Variance analysis. The budget, actual, and variance. What is the reasons for variance? That also. Compliance status. All these things you have to look into. Interaction with the committee of creditors. From time to time, you have to interact. RP must present operation status, how the present of production is happening, financial health of the company to the committee of creditors. What are the various risks that are facing? Inform to the committee of creditors and viability assessment. Whether continued or not continued, that viability assessment also you have to provide to the this funding requirements. How much funds are required? CO's decision depend heavily on RP's functional understanding. Once the RP function heavily, they depends heavily on RP's functional understanding. If Siva is asked, what is the marketing problem? If at all you are unable to tell, is there any shortage of stable? If at all you are unable to tell, or what is the present position of the production, you have to tell correctly. Otherwise, if at all you are unable to tell, then it will be a problem. And evaluation of resolution plans. So finally, when the resolution plans are there, you have to evaluate feasibility, viability, operational turnaround capability, industry competence, and resolution. All these things you have to fulfill. You have to fulfill. Challenges normally during the CIRP, even though we will talk lecture, then this is easy, that is easy like that. But a real, if at all in the situation, then the problems will arise. Limited liquidity. Liquidity is a big problem. Sometimes your honorarium is also, or fee is also big problem. Distrust from stakeholders. They don't believe. Even though you are telling so many things, they don't believe. They don't believe. Lack of cooperation, suspended management. They will not provide any cooperation. And the employees, good employees, they will leave the organization for better revenues. Vendor pressure. Sir, I have supplied raw material. When I will get? Because on account of you, I am also going to face the problem of CIRP because my liquidity problem is suffered and financial criteria are pressurizing me. Legal complexities. That is also, once the amounts are not paid, people will approach the different courts. Regulatory issues. So you have to fulfill the ROC, you have to fulfill the SEBI for listed, etc. Time constraints and IBC. Beyond all these things, at any cost, you have to complete that CIRP within 180 days. So 180 days is your benchmark, and accordingly you have to have skills required. To overcome all these things, you should be a financial expert. You should be operational oriented, understanding. You should have the negotiation skills. You should have the leadership qualities. You should have the legal knowledge. You should have the strategic thinking and crisis management capability. Now the company is in crisis. The management capability is very much required. And industrial awareness, whether it is a steel or power or pharma, that knowledge is required. If at all you don't know the pharma and you don't know the RERA in the real estate, then not suitable. Communication skills to run the organization, to answer the functionary heads, to answer the staff, lot of communication skills are required. And the best practices during CIRP, understanding the business model, meet the department heads frequently, secure records and assets, and prepare cash flow estimates, and stabilize the operation. At any cost, the company operations should be continued and to get some revenue. Communication with the stakeholders. Don't stop. Even workers, even employees, even particularly the customers also, or the home buyers also, communicate. Communicate. When you are going to pay through resolution plan, or when the resolution plan will be completed, then you give the hint also. Once the resolution plan is there, he will take over and he will pay the amount as per the resolution of this fund. Medium term actions. Whatever the medium term action is there, particularly optimize, improving the operational efficiency, optimize the cost. Don't waste the raw material, labor, etc. No work, no pay. Remove the manpower. If at all you don't require manpower, remove. Otherwise, sitting idle and taking salary, even NCLAT case also is there. Strengthen the internal controls. And not only that one, maintain customer and vendors' confidence. Even customers also pacify them. Otherwise, they will permanently go. They attach it to the another the company or another product. And all these things are medium-term action. Resolution stage, support due diligence, facilitate a data room, evaluate resolution plan, assist COC in decision making. If at all you are doing this one, then only you will become a successful resolution professional. Today, successful resolution, if at all I know IBC code, if at all I know regulation, if at all I know the particularly some judicial problem, that is not suffice. It may contribute to 30 or 40%. Remaining 60% is the management skills. You should understand the production, you should understand the HR, you should understand the marketing, you should understand the finance, you should understand the procurement policies, you should understand the cost of operation, you should understand the market. All these things are required. Then only going concern. Otherwise, not a going. IBC is not law oriented. Only the certain portion is law oriented. Remaining is management oriented. Hence, the role of IRP or RP during CIRP extend far beyond the legal compliance under IBC. Everybody is thinking, if at all I know 256, that section, that regulation, I am expert. No, that is not expert. Once you run the company with the help of a COC, that is the resolution profession. If at all I know the regulation, I know the template, how to issue the public announcement, verification of claims, preparation of information memoranda is all the small things. Everybody can prepare, even ordinary, but professional means you should have the capability, capacity, and experience, and strategic thinking, time management, planning to run the company in a better manner. That is required. For that, the key functions of a manufacturing, key functions of a service organization should have the knowledge, should have to all the professions. RP effectively acts as a CEO. You are the CEO. You are not a legal officer and a custodian of the corporate data. Once a custodian of the corporate data means not a legal won't serve any custodian role. Custodian means how to utilize the assets properly, how to maximize the value, how to continue the company as a going concern. Going concern concept is not a legal term, or value maximization is not a legal term. And that's why you are the custodian of the corporate data. To preserve the enterprise value, to achieve the successful resolution, the RP must thoroughly understand all critical organizational functions. That is required. Some of the people, they are thinking that I know the judicial process. For what purpose? Unless you are not handling the company properly, for what purpose that knowing this one, that one, this one? That is already in the book, it is available. This is not available. Your skills are to be developed. How to give the public announcement, the template is available and the press person will come and will take the money. claims, whether the claims proof is there and it is verifying with the books of account, that is. For valuation, your involvement is not there. The valuer's involvement is there. And the preparation of information, that is whatever the information collected in a structured manner. And evaluation matrix also defined. So here all are, that is process is not a tough task. The tough task is understanding the production, understanding the finance function of the company, understanding the market function of the company, understanding the human resource of the company, understanding the procurement policy of the company, understanding the various IT systems that are there in the company, understanding the legal and the compliance of the company, understand beyond all these things, you are a strategic manager. That is required for the professionals. A successful RP, one who combines the legal knowledge, the financial knowledge, the operational understanding, the leadership capability, the crisis management skills. So if you divided by this 5, each are 20%. Your legal knowledge only 20%. That legal knowledge also IBC 10%. Remaining legal knowledge another 10%. 20% financial expertise, 20% operational expertise, 20% leadership expertise, crisis management 20%. Then only you will become a successful resolution professional. Only through holistic understanding of the business world. If at all I don't know what is the marketing, what is HR, what is the functions of the production or the process of that the pharma, how they are going to manufacture, and the process, what is each process, the cost, and what is the sales price, how much margin, then only he will become a successor. Holistic understanding. And the company should be going concern. That is not illegal. The stakeholders' confidence to be increased. That is not illegal. The value maximization, that is not illegal. The successful corporate under the IBC frame. Whatever the IBC, whatever the regulation, max to max it contributes 20% like that. Remaining 80%, marketing, finance, HR, production, etc., etc. So with this, I'm concluding. Thank you very much for your kind patience listening from 2 o'clock onwards. Not only 2 o'clock, for the last 5 days. And thanks to ICSI, IIP for giving an opportunity to discuss about these concepts. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we will definitely share the PPT.
Oh.